Things are pretty miserable on the pitch right now for Boro, and unfortunately, things aren't much better off it either.
He's in, and he's snuck it across to Hayden Hutney!
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be discussing a topic that's a little bit different to what I talk about usually on the channel, but I think it's something that needs to be talked about, maybe not just for me or for Boro or for other fans who are in a tougher position than me, or fans from other football clubs as well. But last night, Boro released the pricing for the renewals for the season tickets ahead of next season, which is probably going to be in the Championship. Let's be honest, and they released what the prices would be if you are to renew your season ticket, as well as the deadline that them prices will be available to, and it's safe to say it didn't go down well. £22.20 a game for early bird renewals. The savings nearly gone. I think this may be the year that enough's enough. Think I'll pass, to be fair. £735 for probably Championship football is a f***ing joke. Offer a fucking interest-free direct debit option like every other club Boro. There's no need to charge 43 quid more on top. No other clubs does this. Sometimes our club is an embarrassment. A price hike, a month to find the money, and all this 2 days after a stinker on Saturday. They go on about how fan loyalty is key and how good we are and how much of a difference it makes. Then they treat us to our third season ticket price increase in 3 years, also bearing in mind that we've been fucking whack at home this season. Make it make sense. My football club is turning into a joke at this point with the prices and timing of this. Give football back to all the fans, make it affordable for all. And then there was this tweet from a friend I know quite well, who I know is a very passionate Boro fan, and this was quite a sad one. I couldn't be more out. I think the club have done well in recent years, rebuilding bridges with the community. This is a huge step back. I'll pick and choose what games I go to from now on. So, what caused all this uproar? Well, as I say, Boro released the updated season ticket prices ahead of next season. But not only that, they also released the deadline, which was one of the most ludicrous, ridiculous, stupidly out of touch things I've ever seen. Because not only have the prices gone up, and not only are Boro already by far one of the most expensive season tickets in the Championship, in one of the most deprived areas of the country to live right now, they also gave fans a deadline, was the 15th of March, for fans to gather at least £500 plus to renew their season ticket for next year. And that's just for one, and that's just in the cheapest area of the stadium. Some people I saw were having to fork out 600, 700, 800. People who have kids were having to fork out almost £1,000 to afford their season ticket for them and their children, and the club gave them only until the 15th of March to gather this money and renew their season ticket. And a good friend of mine who I speak to quite a lot on Twitter, Chris, is a fantastic guy. He tweeted some fantastic points regarding the fact that there was no plea of motivation or rallying the troops or getting everyone up for next season. There was no incentive there to really, jump to renew your season ticket. There was no marketing behind it. There was no real thanks for your support. It was basically a message of, here are the prices, you've got till now to pay them. So go on then. It's up to you. Pay them. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that the club gave fans such a tiny window to renew their season ticket. And thankfully, sense has prevailed. Fan groups have rightfully stood up for the overall fans, and that's what fan groups are good for, and that's what they've done well in this scenario. And they've forced the club to push back the deadline to the 30th of March, which at least will give fans at least more than 1 month to save up what they need, because the whole issue is that fans had one wage essentially between now and the 15th of March where they had to pretty much, I dare say, spend half of it, if not the majority of it, on their season card alone, which on top of the current cost of living crisis was a stupid ask from the club, and one I can't quite believe they actually thought was a good idea. At least now that they've pushed it back to the 30th of March, I'd like to believe people will have at least 2 wages coming in before then, so they can at least split and save half of it this month and save half of it the next month. But even then, the prices at Boro are still ridiculous, really. Now, I know the fact of the matter is running a football club in 2024 is very, very difficult. And by far, we do not have one of the richest owners at all. I think we have one of the most dedicated, but I don't think we have one of the richest. In fact, Steve Gibson is nowhere near as rich as some of the other owners in the Championship. But I still think, despite the immense amount of money he puts into the club every month, there's got to be a better way of doing this, because we live, as I say, in one of the most deprived areas in the UK. You know, the national living wage up here, annual wages up here are much lower than where they are in other parts of the country, and I'm more than sure that there are so many fans who are probably struggling as it is to pay for their season cards. And the fact that I saw a tweet from one of my good mates who is a Boro fan, who I know quite well, I've seen at the games, seen out and about, the fact that he's having to look at him and his son and say, we can't afford it this year, son, sorry, we're going to have to pick and choose what games we go to from now on. That doesn't sit right with me. The fact that there'll be parents, and it won't just be him, it'll be other parents who, with the cost of living, the number of kids they might have to pay for higher energy bills, they might have to pay a higher mortgage, whatever it is, rent, they're going to have to turn around to their kids, their brother, their sister, whoever it is, their dad, whoever they go to games with, and they're going to have to turn around to them and say, sorry, we can't afford season tickets this year. We're going to have to pick and choose what games we go to. That's sad for me. And I think football, as some of them tweets mentioned, it is for all. Football should be affordable for all. And I feel like for Boro fans at least, we have to fork out so much more compared to other clubs in other areas of the country to watch our club. And I think added to that, the current frustration around how bad we've been at home this season, given the fact we've lost more games at home than we've won. We've only scored 17 home league goals in 16 home league games, and that we've just sold our 2 biggest goal contributors in January and essentially not really replaced either of them. People are looking at the club and saying, where's the money gone? Why are we being asked to fork out so much more? And I think if things were going well and we were pushing for promotion and we hadn't sold anybody, of course the perspective would shift. And if our home form was as good as Leeds' or Ipswich's, for example, yeah, the perspective would shift completely. But I think everything that's happened on the pitch, everything that's happened off the pitch, January, the form, the initial date, everything has just built up to a point where the Boro fan base has pretty much exploded with frustration. And I can completely see why. Now, here are some of the figures. This might surprise a few fans who maybe aren't Boro supporters, who maybe don't quite fully understand the price to which Boro fans have to pay. And I'm sure it's like this in other clubs as well. Now, I've got a few different sources, and I've picked a couple of different ones just in case, because I don't want to just go off of one when it might not be 100% accurate. So the first one is from Statista, and this lists how expensive the cheapest season ticket is in every single Championship club. Now, of course, it's worth mentioning different grounds are set up in different ways. Some have bigger gaps between their cheapest price and their most expensive season ticket price, so it's very hard to paint a full picture on how every club compares, taking every single season ticket price into consideration. But these are the cheapest season ticket prices for each club in the Championship, and if you wanted to rock up as a brand new season ticket holder for Middlesbrough Football Club next season and you'd never been before, according to Statista, you'd have to pay way more than any other club in the entire Championship currently to watch Middlesbrough Football Club. So that's way higher than Leeds United, way higher than Sunderland, just down the road, Leicester City, who've just been relegated, Southampton, who are even cheaper. You've got the likes of Coventry, you've got Huddersfield, QPR, who are half the price of what Boro are for their cheapest season ticket. So I know the prices alternate, and QPR might have a more expensive season card than Boro's, but if you just want to get into football, if you just want to find your football club accessible, and you want to take that first step into being a season ticket holder, At Middlesbrough Football Club, you'd have to pay miles more than anywhere else in the country. And we're one of the most deprived areas in the country. That sucks. And just to prove that that source might not be 100% accurate, but it's probably not far away, this is the Football League World. They had us ranked 3rd in the Championship in terms of season ticket prices. We were just behind Norwich and Sheffield Wednesday on that one. The Yorkshire Post also had us top with the most expensive season ticket in the Championship. And if you look at the Mirror had listed the most expensive to least expensive season tickets prices in the Championship. And as you can see, once again, it's got Borough's cheapest season ticket for brand new season card holders at £590. And that is more expensive than any other of the least expensive season tickets. In fact, Borough's least expensive season ticket is still more expensive than Blackburn's most expensive season ticket. In fact, Cardiff, Coventry, Hull, you've got Millwall, you've got Plymouth, you've got Preston, Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday, Stoke City, Swansea City, Watford, West Brom, they all have cheaper season tickets at their top end. Their highest season card price is still cheaper than Borough's lowest season card price, which is crazy. Comparing this to the Premier League, it gets even worse. Now, looking at the list of the Premier League's current most expensive to least expensive season ticket prices, I mean, who'd go and pay £1,800 to watch Arsenal and £2,000 to go and watch Tottenham? I have no idea. But look how many Premier League sides have cheaper season tickets than Middlesbrough. So, Brentford's cheapest season card, Brighton's cheapest season ticket card, Burnley's, Palace, you've got Everton, Fulham, Luton, City and United, Newcastle, Forest, Sheffield United, West Ham and Wolves all offer cheaper season tickets in the Premier League than the Boro do. And even some of them, with their most expensive season cards, are cheaper than our cheapest one. Brentford, their highest is only 549. Burnley's is 500. Luton's is 500. Sheffield United's isn't even that high. It's only 490. So it's crazy to think that over half of the Premier League currently have cheaper season tickets than what we do here at Middlesbrough. Now, of course, they've got more money. They've got more revenue from match day, TV, whatever it is. And again, I'll go back to my earlier point that Steve Gibson is one man, and he's not the richest man compared to other owners, and he still keeps the club afloat. And I'm always going to choose Steve Gibson's ownership over anybody else, because I just have trust, I have faith that we're always going to be in the right hands, and his intentions for the club are always the right ones. However, the timing, the way the announcement was written, as I say, the lack of marketing or excitement or appreciation for the fans, the really initial tight deadline, it's all left an incredibly sour taste in the fans' mouths at Boro right now. And the timing with what everything else has been going on couldn't be worse. I am glad the club have knocked it back to the end of March. That's helped me split the payments that I need to renew my season ticket. But there are still going to be so many fans, like my good friend who I mentioned earlier in the video, who might be looking at next season and might be looking to pick and choose what games they go to see instead, especially if the form we've seen on the pitch this season is anything to go off. So I think overall, this just shows how expensive it is to go and see your side play football. And it is a concern, and this is not just within Middlesbrough, this is outside of Boro and football as a whole, how expensive it is getting to go and watch your football club nowadays. And that's a worry. Football should be affordable for everyone, and with the cost of living going up, I think fans would appreciate a price freeze, or some form of loyalty, a reward scheme. I think Boro really suffer in that department. We barely ever put out a scheme which says if you buy a ticket to a game or if you're a season card holder, hey, if you invite a friend along to join you as a brand new season card holder, they get 10% off their season card in their first season. If you invite a friend and you get a brand new season card holder on board, they get a discount off their first year. Or they get a discount month to month, depending on how they pay it. Even for cup games, even if people want to just rock up at the door and only pick and choose what games they want to come to, there's never an incentive to say, if you bring a friend or if you bring a couple of members of your family, a certain number of kids under the age of 18 or whatever, they'll get this, they'll get that, you'll get it for half price. There's nothing like that. And it does just make fans feel like customers. You know, they're not fans who are being rewarded for their loyalty. They're not being rewarded if they want to bring a friend or if they want to get someone on board. Because surely that would only benefit the club if you got some brand new fans to join you and join the season card club and another season card holder is now on board. There's no incentive to do that. And I never understood why at Middlesbrough Football Club. So I would like the club to start looking at that. I would like the club to maybe also start looking at alternative ways to help drive revenue, whether it's commercially, whether it's via loyalty schemes or just other ways the club can gain revenue and take the burden off of fans. Because with Boro already right at the top end of the Championship and would even be quite in the middle of the road in the Premier League when it comes to our ticket prices, if inflation continues and price increases still come year on year, we're going to have more cases of fans having to make that tough decision, which they should never ever be in a position to make in the first place. A father or mother should never have to turn around to their son or daughter and say they can't afford to go to the Boro games anymore. And that for me isn't a position we shouldn't be in. And I just hope the club can do something, can look at new ways so that at least the prices can stop increasing year on year and they can level out for the time being, because it will enable that we keep strong crowds and we still get very, very good crowds despite the season ticket prices and despite how bad it's been this season at home. We're still getting really, really good crowds and they don't feel like they're being rewarded, and that is not a good thing. It will only turn fans away, it will lower the attendances, which in turn lowers gate receipts, and in turn lowers the money the club gets from a match day, which is quite a lot, and a huge chunk significantly towards how the club runs, I'm sure. So yeah, a bit of a rambly one, a bit of a different one. I wanted to put my opinion across on this. I've also seen a lot of fans who have approached it with the attitude of, well, if you can't afford it or you're not happy, don't renew. That really pisses me off, because I hate the self-entitlement of fans who are so lucky and fortunate that they can renew their season ticket every season without a single worry. They might not have bills to pay, they might live with their parents, they might not have a mortgage, they might not have kids, and they're just turning around to fans who are unhappy about this and going, well, just don't renew then. You are not in a position to tell fans whether they can or whether they should or shouldn't renew. Everyone should be able to renew their season ticket. They are no less or more of a fan than you are. Don't be naive in not considering why they might not be able to renew, why they might not be happy. They might have tougher living conditions than you. They might have much tougher bills to pay than you. They might have less income than you. Don't be naive and stupid and be a dick and just turn around to fans and say, what's the problem? Don't renew then, with no consideration to what they might possibly be going through in a time like this. That is the attitude I really don't like. And I hope fans stop adopting that attitude, because no one should be in a position where they can't afford to go and see their team play. It's as simple as that. And fans who are in that tough position should not be scrutinised or mocked for it. That's my thoughts on that. Bit of a long video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope I've sort of educated maybe fans outside of Boro as well how much we have to fork out for season cards here at the club. And as I say, in a very, very difficult part of the world to live as it is currently, never mind with the inflation, etc. But Boro fans still turn up in their numbers. They still find a way to pay and support their football club. And that's why I'll always stand by the fact that we have the best fans in the world. And I just hope that the club honestly realises that that is the case, because sometimes it feels like they really don't. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit a like on this video, subscribe for more, and until next time, a big thank you for watching. Do take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.